Broadcasting from WRAM Studios at Portage Middle School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. As a part of Fort Wayne Community Schools, this is the Reliable RAM Review. Brought to you by the TV broadcasting program WRAM and featuring the most relevant, up-to-date, and important information at Portage Middle School. This is your Reliable RAM Review. In sports news, the boys and girls basketball teams played last night against Memorial Park. Offensively, the girls performed much better but still fell. The boys, after being down 8 at halftime, were able to pull out the win in the second half. Here's our post-game interview with Coach Dean.
All right, I am here with Portage coach Victor Dean after close comeback win against
For sure.
Memorial Park. I know you came off an emotional loss in overtime to Blackhawk and then come back to this. So what are the big takeaways from that and also into today?
I guess I'll say the biggest takeaway is grit, tenacity. We keep on finding ways to fight back, which I applaud, and I know that's going to help us when we try to make that deep playoff run come January. So, I commend the boys for that, for real. So just to see them be able to fight through some adversity from being down in half and coming back in both games really and taking probably one of the top 3 teams in the city to overtime and unfortunately losing by 3, but to show that grit and tenacity to fight back and put us in a position to win, I'll take that.
Well, and credit where credit is due, they moved the ball quite well. But first half, you guys left about 8 to 10 points on the board with just missed layups and was down 7 or 8 at halftime.
For sure.
So what was the mindset going into the second half then?
We know this week of practice we didn't have everybody. We was missing some guys, so that really hurts us. But that's no excuse. But just the mindset, I had to go to the locker room. We had to just recenter, refocus, and know that we had to knock down the gimmies and then some. So.
Well, you got a lot of good effort from a lot of different players today.
Sure.
I thought Jesus, even though he didn't fill the box score, put in a lot of quality minutes for you.
For sure, big boards. He gave me a lot of energy on the offensive and defensive end when it comes to rebounds, and we're definitely going to need that going down.
Well, number 40 was not small for Memorial Park. He was quite a beefy
big fella,
player.
Big fella.
And then you also got a lot of good tips and defense from Marcus Williams, even though he didn't fill the box score either, but he did a lot of little things for you.
Yeah, and sometimes it's those things that don't show up on the stat sheet that's the most important. Those loose balls, being in the right gaps on defense, seeing the right things on offense to get those assists and drawing the defense in. Those are the things that sometimes don't show, but I definitely, especially as coaches, we appreciate and we love it, and we want to see more of it.
Well, and lastly, Javon Irby, once again, one of the littlest guys on the court, but gets rebounds for you.
For sure. It's just the hunger, wanting to get to it, and then, that becomes contagious. So, once you start getting after it, then everybody else start getting after it, and then when we all clicking, we hard to stop.
Well, you got Kiki Onga on Tuesday. What can we look forward to with that one?
Hopefully a cleaner style of play, more grit. We get after them in the beginning and start this Christmas break on the right end.
And you're going to get some practices in that time,
for sure. Hopefully with the whole team. So.
Well, thank you for coming out and great win, Coach.
Appreciate it.
And that is us, Coach Dean and Mr. Tom Bailey, signing off from WRAM Sports. Thank you for tuning in.
Our next basketball game will be on Tuesday next week, December 20th, against Kikiyonga. The boys will be at home and the girls will play away.
In more Portage news, we will be having our next monthly celebration on the week of the 19th. This is for students who have no referrals and who exhibit Portage PRIDE. Make sure to keep yourself eligible for this celebration by keeping your hands off of each other, not wearing hats and hoods, getting to class on time, and doing the right thing.
Attention Portage students. It is the end of the semester, so please make it a point to check your grades, work with your teachers, and try to make sure you work on your grades.
Please subscribe to the Portage Middle School RAM's YouTube channel to follow our content.
In order to subscribe to the Portage Middle School RAM's YouTube channel, simply go to this URL right here, youtube.com/c/Portage Middle School RAMs, and that'll take you to our YouTube channel. Simply move over to the subscribe button and click, and you will be subscribed to our channel. Thank you.
Those have been your news and announcements for today. Have a great rest of your day, Portage.
Hi, I'm Ayana Vizi, and this is Mr. Malone. We are at Portage for this week's teacher feature. So, Mr. Malone, what do you teach?
I teach 8th grade English.
Okay, why do you teach it?
Because they asked me to. Sorry. I teach English because it's the thing that I was trained the most to do. I had a job as a sports editor, so I have a lot of experience in writing and reading, and so it made sense to transition into English. Hopefully that answers your question.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my first year. Portage is my first teaching run. You guys are the guinea pigs.
So, what would you say you would have taught if you didn't teach language arts?
If I did not teach language arts, that's a great question. I also like science, and social studies is interesting to me as well. But English is what I'm the best at.
So, what was your favorite subject growing up, you would say?
English, easily. I could write creative stories. My teachers were very good at giving me creative writing assignments, and I thought that was always a good time.
So, if you didn't teach, what would you have done in life?
Probably what I did before this. I was a family counselor for a long time, and as I mentioned, I was a sports editor at a newspaper. Both were very fun experiences. I got to hang out with a lot of awesome young adults in the sports editing position. I got to hang out with basketball players, baseball players, swimmers, volleyball players, a lot of fun. And then obviously family counseling, I got a chance to help a lot of families that were struggling with some things.
So, with your taking a liking to sports and family, what would you say that your hobbies are outside of school?
This might shock you, but reading. I like to read. Also play video games. Again, I'm not good at video games, but my brothers play, and they like to rub it in how much better at video games they are than I am.
And for your last question, why is teaching so important to you?
Teaching is important to me because if I have a little bit of an influence on students to become young adults out in the real world, hopefully it's more than just English for me. I think that teaching you how to read and write is important, but also what does it take to be a successful human being out in the adult world? I think that's important. So 8th grade is a really important year. It's when you start to begin to think about what you want to be outside of the classroom.
Well, thank you for that. My name is Ayana Vizi, and this is Mr. Malone, and this was this week's teacher feature.
Hello, my name is Liberty Sanders. We're going to be talking about Portage Pride today. We're going to start off with perseverance. I'm here with Javon Irby. Javon, what is perseverance?
The definition of perseverance in my head is to show good grit and to show good effort, but you still persevere through the problem.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an example of perseverance?
The example of perseverance is when we played football against Miami Middle School, and we were down 19-6 going into halftime and came all the way back to win.
That's a good example. That was Portage Pride's P, perseverance. We're going to next talk about R, respect. Now we're going to be talking about the R in Portage Pride, respect. I'm here with Nivea Romero. Nivea, what is Portage respect?
Respect is when you accept a person even if you guys do not share the same ideas.
Do you have an example of that?
During soccer season, we would have to go and greet the opposite team, whether we had won or lost the game. I feel like that is a good example of Portage showing respect to the opposite team's coaches and players.
Yeah, that was a good example. That was Portage Pride's R, respect, and now we're going to talk about I, inclusion. Now we're going to be talking about the I, inclusion. I'm here with Leo VZ. What is inclusion to you?
To me, inclusion is like being kind to people and including them in conversations and activities.
Do you have an example of that?
Well, when I'm at lunch and I'm having fun with my friends, but one of my friends seems left out or sad, I make sure to include them in my conversation so everybody has fun.
That's a good example. That was I, inclusion, and now we're going to talk about the D, dedication. The next letter we're going to be talking about is D, dedication. I'm here with Jaime Perez. What is the definition of dedication to you?
Dedication for me is like when I try something, I'll try my best and I'll do my best at it.
Do you have an example of that?
Yes. So last year in soccer, I dedicated to try my best on the field and try my best to win.
Nice. The next letter we're going to be talking about is E, excellence. Now for our last letter, E, excellence. I'm here with Ailey Lindsay. What is excellence to you?
Excellence means to achieve great things and be a good student.
Do you have an example of that?
Getting good grades and respecting other students.
That was a good example. So that's Portage Pride, perseverance, respect, inclusion, dedication, and excellence. Thank you.